money does not buy you happiness. Some would argue that simply saying that is not just true. However, today we have two people here who are proof that money indeed does not always buy you happiness. They're talking about how their lives are transformed by deciding to live a minimalist lifestyle. They are Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
It is our pleasure. You have a new book out. It's called Everything That Remains. We'll talk exactly about that and how you can get a copy of it, get it signed coming up in a little bit. But first, this whole idea of minimalism. Right. What is it for folks who don't know?
You know, I think minimalism is a tool that we can use to figure out what things add value to our lives. There are so many things that we get caught up with having, with owning, that we lose sight of life's purpose. And now that as a minimalist, everything that I own actually has a purpose or brings me joy.
Okay, you two, you're best friends, you decided to go ahead and basically get rid of everything you own one day. And it didn't just happen overnight, and it wasn't like you're two rugrats off the street. You were both highly successful with a company. And so why did you decide to just ditch everything and move from a city to Montana?
Yeah, I had everything I ever wanted at age 28. If you were to tell my 18-year-old self what my 28-year-old self was going to have, I would have been the most excited 18-year-old. But once I got to that point, I didn't find happiness or excitement. I found stress and anxiety and discontent and a whole lot of debt. I was miserable. So it got to a point where I didn't know what was important anymore. So to kind of get an idea of what was important, I decided to go down this road of minimalism to try and gain a different perspective on life, to again, find out what was truly important.
When you said you thought you had everything you wanted, are you talking physical things, like you were keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak?
Yeah, exactly. So I had a condo with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It even had 2 living rooms. I have no idea why a single guy needs 2 living rooms. I bought a fancy new car every couple years. I went on crazy vacations and always racked up really big bar tabs and went out to fancy meals. I had everything.
Okay, so did you find happiness, or how long did it take you to find this happiness after you both started ditching your stuff and kind of moving out to the country?
Yeah, for me, it was actually 2 events happened in my life. My mother died and my marriage ended, both in the same month. And I just started looking around at all the stuff and questioning, okay, is any of this actually adding value to my life? Am I happy? And so it took me a long time. It took me about 8 months to really slowly pare down my life. And that's when Ryan noticed that I was considerably happier. I felt lighter and freer.
Yeah, so I went to Josh and I was like, dude, why are you so happy? And he's like, let me show you this thing called minimalism. And after kind of looking into it, I thought, okay, I can do this. Like, I don't mind, scaling back a little bit. So I'm like, great, man, I'm a minimalist. Now what do I do?
So do you just overnight, do you start ditching your stuff? Do you do it all in one day, or how'd you go about doing this transformation?
So what I did is this thing called a packing party. If you put party on the end of anything, it makes it sound fun.
People on Facebook, on Craigslist, on the internet, they jump at it.
Right. We packed up everything in my 2,000 square foot condo. Everything, my bed sheets, my toiletries, even my furniture. We literally pretended like I was moving. And then I unpacked things as I needed it, day by day, for 21 days. So you can imagine that first night I unpacked my toothbrush, my bed sheets. And as days continued, I unpacked the furniture I actually used, some kitchenware, a tool set, just the things that added value. Well, at the end of this experiment, I had 80% of my stuff still sitting in boxes, just sitting there. I looked at those boxes and I couldn't even remember what was in most of them. Yeah. And that was the beginning of this whole journey. I donated and I sold everything. And that's when we decided to start theminimalists.com.
Okay, it's a very interesting story. If you want to learn more about it, they have a new book. It's called Everything That Remains. You can go meet Ryan and Joshua tonight, 7 o'clock Bookworks in Albuquerque. You'll be signing copies there. Yeah. Gentlemen, thanks for stopping by this morning.
Thanks so much for
having us.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
It's very interesting to learn about this. For more information on them, again, head to our website, casa.com. It's now 7:28.